Hey guys, this is Miss Johnson. As you can see, I have a blank sheet of paper and a pen. I expect you guys to have the same materials as we go into these notes. Now the notes we're gonna do, you're gonna see some of your other English teachers do throughout the week, but this will be our first time, so be sure to follow step by step. That way you make sure you get everything right. I'm gonna start by making a little triangle. Now this is like my signpost, which I discussed with you guys in the video just before this. And I also told you just before this, we would start with words of the wiser. Can you remember what I said in the previous video that kind of was like? I said it's like when someone gives you words of wisdom, right? So our definition is gonna be the first thing we'll fill out. And I'm just gonna kind of fill that in the lines right under that. So I want to write in complete sentences. I think what I'm going to say is something like, when a wiser character I ran out of room, sorry y'all. When a wiser character shares their wisdom with another. And usually that other character is going to be the protagonist, whereas your wiser characters are usually older, so that might be a bit of an indication to you as well. Now, as we're going through the definition, I want you to think of things that might give you clues as to how to find words of the wiser. What's something you might see that would indicate to you that you need to be looking out for this? Well, I mean, if it's a wise character giving advice to another character, obviously it's two characters. Characters that are alone together, right? And they're sharing words. Remember I told you that it could also is usually the protagonist here. So maybe the protagonist, and I'm just gonna write protag, right? So maybe the protagonist is having a hard time and goes to someone else let me just say for help, kind of make it a little smaller. Right, and if you guys can, I want you to go ahead and fill in your own third clue that you think could work. Go ahead and pause this video if you need a second to think. The next thing we're gonna do, and I'm just gonna do another little line down there, is questions. Now, what I mean by this are the questions we ask ourselves as we're going through the reading. Now, if you're looking out for this words of the wiser, you see an instance in which two characters are going off by themselves to talk, you're going to want to ask yourself some things, such as, what's the lesson, right? What's being taught? So I'm going to say, what's being taught? But another important question to ask yourself is, why is the character seeking this wisdom, right? So how is it going to change the character? How will this change the character? Can you guys think of another question you might ask as well? All right, and our very last section, and I'm just going to do one more little line, just kind of down there. This one's called literary element. Now you should know what that is, but just in case, let me go ahead and explain to you that these are all the elements that make up, well, literature. Think of plot, character, theme, really anything, any elements in the book that you can analyze are what we call literary elements. Understanding that, ask yourself, what element would this probably be helping you understand? If a character is having trouble with something and goes to someone else for wisdom, there's probably some internal conflict, right? They're having problems figuring out something on their own. Another one could obviously be the relationship. I'm just going to kind of do like a B and W for between. So relationship between characters and the plot. Now by that, I mean, again, assuming it's the protagonist looking for some wisdom, if he is going to someone else to look for advice, that advice might change what happens in the plot, right? It might change whatever the character is going to do next. So that's how it's shaping the relationship between the characters and the plot itself. The very last literary element, and possibly one of the most important, is going to be theme, right? If someone's getting advice on something or they're learning about something, that's probably pretty important and is going to help you understand what the lesson of the entire piece is about. Right, these are your first notes for our notice and notes signpost. Remember, we're going to do one every day. We want it to look very similar to this, and we'll go through it with you for each one. Until then, I will see you guys next time.